We often search for answers to life's profound questions in the external world, convinced that happiness and fulfillment reside in achievements, possessions, or the approval of others. Yet, what if the most potent force for transformation lies not outside, but deeply embedded within us, waiting to be rediscovered? Imagine a world where your thoughts are not just fleeting ideas, but powerful architects, shaping the very fabric of your reality, influencing your emotional landscape, and even your physical well-being. For too long, we've been told that our inner struggles are merely symptoms to be managed, often overlooking the profound, intricate dance between our consciousness and our lived experience. What if the feeling of emptiness, the persistent shadows of sadness, are not simply random occurrences, but echoes of a deeper misalignment, a forgotten language of the soul yearning for harmony? This isn't about simple positive thinking, it's about unlocking a fundamental truth, a hidden potential to consciously reprogram the subtle frequencies of our being. It promises a journey not just to recovery, but to an unprecedented level of self-knowledge and an active partnership in crafting a life filled with purpose and profound joy. The universe within us holds secrets more powerful than we've ever dared to acknowledge, and the time has come to uncover them, to understand how our every thought, every feeling, reverberates through our existence. In a world grappling with escalating rates of depression and persistent anxiety, the conventional dialogue frequently centers on neurochemical imbalances, biological predispositions, or external environmental stressors. While these perspectives offer vital insights, a burgeoning paradigm suggests a more encompassing view, inviting us to consider the individual not merely as a collection of symptoms, but as an intricately integrated system of body, mind, and spirit. This emerging school of thought posits that the profound lack of energy, the pervasive feelings of sadness, and even the sense of existential emptiness so many experience, may signify deeper energetic disharmonies within. It proposes that our internal landscape of unconscious feelings and ingrained beliefs often precedes the physical and emotional manifestations of distress. Consider the pervasive nature of our mental activity, the constant stream of thoughts, the repetitive patterns that define our inner monologue. Proponents of this integrated approach suggest these aren't just passive observations, but active forces. They argue that consistently negative thought patterns, when coupled with lifestyles lacking vitality or nurturing habits, can create a palpable, gray tone that characterizes profound sadness and detachment. Just as an overactive mind can signal distress, a persistent adherence to low-vibration mental habits can solidify a cycle of despair. This perspective doesn't dismiss traditional understandings but complements them, urging us to look beyond mere symptom relief and instead embark on a comprehensive re-evaluation of how we engage with ourselves and the world around us. It champions a journey of intentional transformation, inviting individuals to consciously adjust their internal frequencies for lasting well-being. Many find themselves adrift in a world of constant demands, often feeling a subtle, persistent disconnect despite pursuing traditional markers of success. The relentless pursuit of external validation or temporary comforts can leave a void, a sense that something fundamental is missing. This isn't just about fleeting moments of happiness or alleviating immediate discomfort, it's about fostering a profound, enduring state of well-being that permeates every aspect of life. Our deepest human longing is for genuine fulfillment, a powerful sense of purpose that resonates from within, guiding our choices and shaping our experiences. Investing in a deeper understanding of oneself and actively shaping one's internal landscape is therefore not merely an option, but a vital pathway to unlocking true potential. This journey transcends superficial self-help, it's an empowering commitment to personal mastery. It allows individuals to cultivate resilience in the face of adversity, to navigate complex relationships with greater empathy, and to tap into reserves of creativity and insight previously unknown. By consciously engaging with the subtle energies that define our inner world, we gain agency over our emotional states and responses, transforming passive reactions into deliberate, constructive actions. The commitment required for this kind of transformation yields invaluable returns. It isn't just about feeling better, it's about becoming more, achieving more, and living with undeniable clarity. This process illuminates the path to personal aspirations, transforming vague desires into tangible progress towards a life of meaning and profound impact. It fosters an environment where growth isn't accidental, but intentional, leading to a vibrant sense of purpose that fuels accomplishment and connects individuals more deeply to the collective human experience. Embracing this perspective means choosing a life lived fully, with purpose and unwavering authenticity. The journey we've embarked upon, transforming abstract aspirations into concrete realities, finds its most potent catalyst in a profound state of internal harmony. It's not about merely accelerating one's efforts, pushing harder, or packing more into every waking moment. This isn't a call for frantic productivity, a relentless sprint towards an ever-moving finish line where exhaustion becomes a badge of honor. It's not the act of adopting a persona, meticulously crafted to meet external expectations or to project an image of success that feels hollow inside. Nor is it about a superficial mimicry of others' paths, hoping that their definition of achievement will somehow satisfy our own deep-seated yearnings. Such approaches often lead to burnout, disillusionment, and a nagging sense of disconnection, no matter how outwardly successful they appear. They are akin to an orchestra playing a cacophony of individual notes, each instrument vying for attention without regard for the collective melody, producing noise rather than music. Instead, this pivotal understanding centers on achieving a deep, unwavering synchronization between who you are, what you genuinely desire, and the actions you take. It is a state where your innermost values, your unique talents, and your outward expressions coalesce into a powerful, coherent force. Imagine a finely tuned radio receiver, not merely picking up static or faint, distorted signals, but precisely locking onto the clearest, most resonant frequency. When you find this sweet spot, the message comes through with absolute clarity, unburdened by interference, allowing you to hear every note, every word, with crystal precision. This is what it feels like, an internal clarity that cuts through the noise of external demands and self-doubt. This isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter, or more accurately, more authentically. Think of a mighty river, not struggling against artificial dams or diverting its course into turbulent, unproductive eddies. Rather, it flows unimpeded, following its natural contours, gathering momentum effortlessly as it moves towards its expansive destination. Its power lies not in resistance, but in its natural, graceful alignment with the landscape. Similarly, when you are truly aligned, your energy is no longer dispersed battling internal conflicts or external pressures that contradict your core. Instead, it converges, creating a potent current that propels you forward with a sense of purpose and effortless grace. This profound alignment liberates immense energy, not just for accomplishment, but for genuine presence and connection. It means that every decision, every action, feels organic and true, stemming from a place of deep knowing rather than anxious deliberation. It fosters an environment where growth isn't a struggle against the grain, but a natural unfolding, much like a seed blossoming into a magnificent tree, guided by its intrinsic blueprint. The vibrancy of purpose that was previously described deepens into an internal compass, constantly recalibrating, ensuring your path remains true to your authentic self. It's the feeling of all your internal components humming in perfect sync, radiating an impact that is not only powerful but also deeply meaningful, connecting you more profoundly to your own journey and the broader human experience. It is the very essence of living a life that is not just full, but fully you. This exquisite alignment, where every internal component resonates in perfect harmony, is what defines operating at maximum frequency. It's a state not of frantic activity, but of profound clarity and potent calm, where the noise of external pressures recedes, revealing an inner landscape of unwavering purpose. Within this state, the conventional limitations of thought and action dissolve, replaced by an expansive awareness that profoundly impacts every facet of existence. When operating from this elevated frequency, decision-making transforms from a convoluted process of analysis and anxiety into an intuitive dance with unfolding possibilities. Consider Elena, a lead engineer facing a critical design flaw in a new satellite system, mere weeks from launch. Conventional wisdom suggested extensive redesigns, a costly delay. Yet, operating from that deep internal alignment, she experienced a sudden, almost visceral conviction about a counterintuitive modification, a seemingly minor tweak that, when modeled, proved to circumvent the entire problem with elegant simplicity. Her colleagues, initially skeptical, were astonished by the speed and efficacy of the solution, which emerged not from endless data crunching, but from an inner knowing she implicitly trusted. This wasn't guesswork, it was the synthesis of her vast experience, unburdened by fear of failure, funneled through the crystal-clear lens of maximum frequency. The magnetic pull generated by this state is equally remarkable, subtly reshaping one's environment to align with their deepest intentions. Opportunities cease to be things to be relentlessly pursued and instead emerge as natural extensions of one's energetic resonance. Think of Marcus, a documentary filmmaker with a burning passion to tell stories of environmental conservation, yet struggling for funding. Rather than conventional networking, Marcus devoted himself to embodying the very change he wished to see, his work radiating authentic passion and commitment. Unexpectedly, during a casual conversation at a community event, an executive from a major philanthropic foundation was drawn to his genuine enthusiasm, sensing the profound depth of his vision. This encounter wasn't planned, it was a vibrational match, leading to an unsolicited offer of significant backing, not just for his current project, but for a series of future endeavors. It wasn't luck, it was the universe responding to the signal he was consistently broadcasting. Perhaps the most transformative benefit lies in the quiet resolution of internal conflicts. The constant push and pull of conflicting desires, past regrets, or future anxieties simply dissipate when the internal compass points with such unwavering certainty. It's not about suppressing these elements, but integrating them into a unified whole. Sarah, for instance, had long grappled with the tension between her desire for a high-impact career and a deep-seated need for personal peace and family connection. For years, she felt torn, always believing she had to sacrifice one for the other, leading to perpetual guilt and exhaustion. However, as she cultivated this state of maximum frequency, she began to see her life not as a zero-sum game, but as an intricate tapestry. She restructured her work, not by cutting back, but by injecting her unique purpose into every task, making it more efficient and deeply satisfying. This allowed her to be fully present in both her professional endeavors and her family life, realizing that true impact stemmed from her integrated self, not from a fractured pursuit of external validation. Her inner turmoil transformed into a profound sense of balance and fulfillment. Operating at maximum frequency isn't merely about achieving more, it's about experiencing life with unparalleled depth and congruence. It's the effortless flow of a river, finding its path not by force, but by aligning with the natural contours of the land. This state allows for a life lived not in reaction to circumstances, but in active co-creation, where every decision, opportunity, and challenge becomes a step further into the fullest, most authentic expression of self. The impact is undeniable, resonating outward, shaping not just personal journeys, but the broader landscape of human endeavor. Accessing the natural, highest frequency of personal flow is less about mastering complex techniques and more about a simple recalibration of awareness, a practical, activation protocol that anyone can engage with. It requires no specialized training or advanced knowledge, only a willingness to shift attention and trust the inherent wisdom within. This process unfolds in distinct, yet fluid, stages, allowing for an effortless integration into daily life. The first step involves a deliberate inner reset. Find a moment of quiet, whether alone in a room or simply by stepping away from immediate distractions. Close your eyes, or soften your gaze if that's not possible, and bring your attention to your breath. Take 3 slow, deep inhalations, filling your lungs completely, and then release each breath fully, allowing your shoulders to gently drop and any tension in your jaw or forehead to soften. This isn't an attempt to empty your mind, but rather to shift your focus from the external chaos to your internal landscape, creating a brief but powerful pause in a constant stream of activity. Next, cultivate a resonant connection. With this newfound stillness, gently bring to mind something that evokes a genuine sense of peace, gratitude, or a quiet joy. It could be a cherished memory, the beauty of a natural scene, the warmth of a loved one, or simply the comfort of a peaceful moment. Dwell in that sensation for a few moments, allowing it to expand within you. Notice where you feel it in your body, perhaps a warmth in your chest, a lightness behind your eyes, or a subtle sense of expansion. This is not about forcing an emotion, but about recognizing an authentic internal vibration that aligns with your highest well-being. Once this resonant feeling is established, move to the clear intention. While maintaining this inner state, bring to mind one clear, immediate intention for your path forward. This isn't a grand, overwhelming life plan, but a single, focused direction for the next hour, the next task, or the next interaction. Frame it not as a struggle to overcome, but as a natural unfolding, a desire to approach a project with greater clarity, to engage in a conversation with more empathy, or simply to experience deeper understanding in your day. Visualize this intention as already being in motion, flowing naturally, much like the river finds its course without resistance. The fourth stage is the aligned impulse. With your intention set and your inner resonance active, begin to observe the subtle impulses that arise within you. These might manifest as a quiet thought, a gentle feeling, an unexpected idea, or even a soft nudge to take a specific, small action. These are often the initial ripples of the effortless flow guiding you. The critical aspect here is to trust and act on these first promptings without excessive analysis, doubt, or procrastination. Each small, aligned step, taken without overthinking, reinforces your connection to this higher frequency, creating momentum that builds on itself. Finally, engage in open observation. As you move through your day, maintain a gentle, non-judgmental awareness of your internal state and how situations unfold around you. Notice moments of ease and synchronicity, acknowledging them as feedback that you are flowing in alignment. Should resistance, friction, or discomfort arise, view it not as a failure, but as a subtle signal to gently re-engage with the inner reset and resonant connection, recentering yourself. This is a dynamic, continuous process of subtle adjustments, much like a sailor trimming sails to catch the optimal wind. Each observation refines your ability to perceive and navigate the currents of optimal alignment, allowing the full, authentic expression of self to emerge effortlessly, impacting not just your journey, but the broader landscape of interaction. The subtle currents of optimal alignment, once merely perceptible, began to create a distinct internal pressure, a quiet yet persistent invitation for deeper integration. This wasn't an external demand, but an intrinsic signal, often manifesting first as a nuanced restlessness. It wasn't the agitated anxiety of dissatisfaction, but rather a profound sense of untapped capacity, a quiet hum beneath the surface of daily existence, even when circumstances appeared stable and serene. It felt akin to a seed stirring within the earth, sensing the warmth of the sun and the promise of growth, yet still encased, not quite ready to breach the surface. This gentle unease suggested a latent energy, a potential eager for expression, hinting that the current mode of operation, while functional, no longer fully encompassed one's evolving truth. This nascent unrest was frequently accompanied by a heightened sensitivity to intuition. What once might have been dismissed as fleeting thoughts or mere coincidences now resonated with a distinct significance. Subtle nudges, unexpected insights that surfaced during quiet reflection, or recurring thematic threads in seemingly unrelated events, started to coalesce into a discernible pattern. These weren't loud pronouncements, but rather soft whispers, persistent internal promptings that guided attention toward specific areas, possibilities, or even just a deeper sense of self-inquiry. It was as if an internal compass, previously dormant, began to quiver, signaling a new, compelling direction, urging an exploration of paths previously overlooked or consciously avoided. Crucially, these internal stirrings often culminated in moments of flow, periods of intense focus and effortless engagement where the distinction between oneself and the task at hand dissolved completely. Time would warp, and actions would unfold with an organic grace, driven by an almost automatic competence. Whether immersed in a complex problem, engaged in creative expression, or navigating a challenging physical endeavor, these moments provided vivid glimpses of potential fully actualized. There was no struggle, no self-consciousness, only pure, unadulterated presence and effective action. These weren't isolated incidents of good fortune, but rather peak experiences, rich data points revealing where intrinsic talents intersected with genuine passion, offering a direct, visceral experience of what true alignment felt like. These flow states served as powerful validation for the underlying restlessness and the guiding intuitions. They were not just enjoyable experiences, they were vital intelligence, mapping the contours of one's authentic capabilities and the profound satisfaction that accompanied their unfettered expression. Each moment of seamless action, each effortless breakthrough, underscored the immense untapped potential that lay waiting to be consciously integrated. These cumulative observations, the subtle internal pressure, the amplified intuitive guidance, and the undeniable proof of effortless mastery in moments of flow, collectively signaled a readiness for a significant internal update. It wasn't about seeking something external, but about consciously aligning with and fully inhabiting the expanded, more authentic self that was already trying to emerge, poised for a deeper, more impactful engagement with the world. The recognition of an expanded self, poised for deeper engagement, brought with it a stark realization regarding previous methods of operation. So much of the past had been characterized by an ingrained approach of forcing results. It was a subtle, yet pervasive, exertion, a mental and often physical pushing against perceived obstacles, a relentless drive to impose a desired outcome onto a recalcitrant reality. This method, born of a belief that success necessitated constant struggle and effort, often yielded temporary victories, yet invariably left a lingering residue of fatigue and a curious absence of genuine fulfillment. The effort expended felt disproportionate to the satisfaction gained, a continuous uphill battle against an unseen current, where progress, when achieved, felt hard-won and fragile. This older paradigm was not without its moments of utility, it was a testament to sheer willpower and determination. However, the recent insights revealed its inherent inefficiency. It was akin to rowing upstream against a powerful current, muscles burning, breath ragged, merely to maintain position or make slow headway. The energy expenditure was immense, and the underlying tension often manifested as stress, eroding the very joy that might have been found in the pursuit. It was a strategy focused entirely on the how of exertion, frequently neglecting the more profound why and the foundational internal state. The emerging understanding, however, pointed toward an entirely different operational paradigm, that of flowing with natural energy. This wasn't about passivity or waiting for things to happen, rather, it was about a highly intentional and intelligent engagement with reality. The cornerstone of this approach lay in cultivating profound clarity of purpose. When the why of an endeavor became crystal clear, understood not just intellectually, but felt viscerally, resonating with one's deepest values and aspirations, it acted as an internal compass. This clarity illuminated the path of least resistance, not because the path was easy, but because it was aligned. Complementing this clarity was internal alignment. This meant ensuring that one's thoughts, emotions, and beliefs were in harmony with that clearly defined purpose. Any internal dissonance, any subconscious doubt or fear, acted like grit in a well-oiled machine, forcing a return to the old paradigm of struggle. But when there was coherence, when one's entire being was oriented towards the desired outcome, action became less about pushing and more about allowing. It became a process of guided emergence, where insights appeared effortlessly, opportunities materialized organically, and solutions unfolded with surprising grace. Actions undertaken from this state of flow were not only remarkably more effective, but also profoundly more gratifying. The sense of resistance dissipated, replaced by a feeling of effortless momentum. Tasks that once felt arduous now transformed into engaging challenges, tackled with a sense of playful mastery. The outcomes themselves seemed to manifest with greater ease and precision, often exceeding initial expectations, not through brute force, but through a kind of elegant synchronicity. The gratification stemmed not just from achieving the result, but from the very process of creation, a deep satisfaction born of knowing that one's efforts were in harmony with a larger, natural current, propelling forward with an intrinsic momentum that felt both powerful and peaceful. This shift wasn't merely a change in technique, it was a fundamental redefinition of how reality could be engaged, transforming struggle into an orchestrated dance of purpose and potential. This orchestrated dance, however, bore a profound impact on more than just the output, it fundamentally reshaped the very experience of temporal progression. Operating within this heightened state, where every action resonated with an intrinsic momentum, time ceased to be a relentless march and instead became a malleable element, responsive to the depth of engagement. Moments that once stretched into hours now unfolded with startling velocity, yet paradoxically, each second felt imbued with a richer, more expansive quality. It wasn't merely about accelerating processes, it was about optimizing existence, aligning perception with an underlying rhythm that made efficiency feel effortless and profound. In this transformed temporal landscape, the execution of tasks became an astonishing display of precision and speed. What once required careful planning and iterative refinement now manifested with a singular, fluid motion. Complex data analyses that would typically consume an entire afternoon were distilled into coherent insights within minutes, not through hurried shortcuts, but through an intuitive understanding of core patterns and an immediate recognition of irrelevant noise. The mind, unburdened by self-doubt or distraction, moved directly from intent to outcome, each step flowing seamlessly into the next. There was no wasted motion, no superfluous thought, every action possessed an amplified efficiency, a graceful economy that made even the most arduous endeavors feel like a natural extension of one's will. Conversations, too, underwent a remarkable metamorphosis. The superficial layers of small talk dissolved, replaced by exchanges of startling depth and clarity. Listeners didn't just hear words, they grasped the underlying intent, the unspoken emotion, the true essence of the message with an almost telepathic understanding. This wasn't about mind reading, but an acute sensitivity to vocal inflections, subtle gestures, and the energetic resonance of another person. Participants found themselves articulating thoughts with unprecedented eloquence and precision, their words perfectly matched to their meaning, fostering an immediate and profound connection that built trust and understanding at an accelerated pace. Misunderstandings became rare anomalies, as true communication flowed unimpeded by typical perceptual filters. Perhaps the most striking aspect of this elevated state was the timeliness of insights. Solutions to intricate problems didn't emerge from painstaking deliberation, they arrived, fully formed and impeccably relevant, precisely at the moment of need. It was akin to having an internal compass constantly calibrated to the optimal path forward. Opportunities were recognized not as they appeared on the horizon, but as subtle ripples in the current, allowing for proactive engagement rather than reactive response. Risks were anticipated with uncanny foresight, often averted before they could fully materialize, guided by an intuitive recognition of emergent patterns and potential divergences from the harmonious flow. This wasn't guesswork, it was a profound attunement to the unfolding reality, a constant stream of pertinent information directly informing action and perception. The world revealed itself with unprecedented clarity, each moment presenting itself as an opportunity for purposeful, impactful engagement. The profound attunement that now defined their existence was not a static state, it demanded constant, subtle maintenance, a delicate dance with the intrinsic rhythms of reality. Just as a precisely calibrated instrument requires occasional fine-tuning to remain accurate, so too did the intricate network of perception and action benefit from intentional moments of reset. They recognized that the environment itself offered these natural points of recalibration, subtle portals designed not to transport one physically, but to shift internal states with remarkable efficacy. The start of a new week served as a prime example, a collective energetic hinge point where the past cycle naturally gave way to the next. It wasn't about relying on magic, but about intelligently leveraging inherent human and temporal patterns. Instead of merely letting one day bleed indiscriminately into the next, these transitions became deliberate invitations to pause. The quiet hum of a Sunday evening, for instance, offered more than just the looming anticipation of the coming workday, it presented a unique vibrational space. This was the precise moment to gently disengage from the residue of the previous days, the lingering anxieties, the unfinished mental tasks, the accumulated energetic dust that could obscure clarity. The process involved a deliberate, albeit brief, internal inventory. What energy had been expended, and how? What lessons had been absorbed, and what wisdom gained? Where had focus inadvertently strayed, and how could it be recentered? This was not a punitive self-assessment, but a compassionate check-in, an opportunity to gently realign the internal compass. It was about shedding the non-essential, like a vessel carefully jettisoning ballast before embarking on a new voyage, ensuring only what served true north remained. The objective was to create an internal vacuum, ready to be filled with renewed purpose. By the dawn of Monday, or any chosen reset moment, the intention was clear, to step into the new cycle not merely refreshed, but thoroughly recalibrated to one's authentic essence. This meant consciously reconnecting with core motivations, with the intrinsic values that truly drove purposeful engagement. The clarity gained from deep attunement became even sharper, unburdened by accumulated external pressures or the momentum of past distractions. It allowed for a fresh surge of energy, a renewed sense of direction that wasn't reactive or dictated by external demands, but deeply intentional and self-generated. These environmental portals, whether a new week, a quiet dawn, the turn of a season, or even the completion of a significant project, became strategic anchors. They weren't escapes from reality, but rather intentional entries into a more aligned and potent engagement with it. This consistent practice ensured that the constant stream of pertinent information wasn't just received passively, but integrated and acted upon with maximum authenticity and impact. It maintained the delicate, crucial balance between heightened awareness and effective action, guaranteeing every interaction resonated with genuine, unwavering purpose, preventing the extraordinary clarity from ever becoming diluted or unfocused. The rigorous application of integrated insight and purposeful action had become the bedrock of their existence, a continuous calibration that kept their collective consciousness sharp, preventing any sliver of the hard-won clarity from wavering or dissipating into the ordinary. This relentless pursuit of authentic impact wasn't a static state, it was a dynamic choice, an ongoing ascent through layers of operational consciousness that dictated not just what they achieved, but how deeply they experienced every moment. At the lowest stratum lay the bare act of survival. It was a raw, instinctual pulse, a primal thrum dictating the immediate: shelter, sustenance, evasion. A life lived perpetually in the shadow of the next crisis, where every decision was a reaction, every moment a hurried improvisation to avoid complete collapse. There was no room for growth, no bandwidth for foresight, merely the desperate scramble to exist another day. This was a state we understood intimately from the earliest, most brutal phases, and had observed its insidious grip on countless others who never managed to break free from its suffocating hold. It narrowed the world to a tunnel vision of immediate threats and fleeting reprieves, transforming life into an endless series of defensive maneuvers. Above that, a more structured but equally limiting existence defined the realm of functionality. Here, individuals moved with a practiced competence, performing assigned roles, meeting expectations, navigating routines with a predictable efficacy. They understood the mechanics of their immediate world, could execute tasks, and contribute to larger systems with a certain reliability. Yet, the experience was often devoid of genuine engagement, a routine enacted rather than a life embraced. It provided stability, yes, a certain safety in its predictability, but it was a state of perpetual maintenance. Like a finely tuned machine running at half throttle, it did its job, but the potential for innovation, for true impact, remained largely untapped, locked away behind a veil of acceptable adequacy. This level, while offering a semblance of order, ultimately left one perpetually just short of their true potential, observing life from a distance rather than fully participating in its creation. Then there was the aspiration, the demanding commitment to what they termed frequency maxima, operating at the absolute peak of one's capabilities. In this elevated state, awareness was sharpened to an almost prescient degree, and every action was imbued with a calculated, unwavering intent. This wasn't merely about doing things correctly, but about understanding the why and how at the deepest possible level, anticipating contingencies, forging novel solutions, and actively shaping outcomes rather than simply reacting to them. It demanded relentless self-assessment, a constant push against perceived limits, and an unshakable belief in one's capacity to influence the trajectory of events. It was here that genuine transformation occurred, both personally and in the wider sphere of influence. The world ceased to be a series of obstacles to be endured, but a dynamic canvas for purposeful creation, where every interaction held the potential for profound meaning and lasting consequence. To choose this path was to embrace a life of constant evolution, a journey marked by profound fulfillment and an indelible mark on the fabric of reality. The alternative was a surrender to the currents, a mere passenger in one's own existence. The journey has illuminated a profound truth: the distinction between merely existing and truly living rests on a single choice. The world, once perceived as a labyrinth of trials, reveals itself as an intricate design awaiting your master touch. Every interaction, every decision, becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of your personal legacy, a testament to the conscious intent you bring to bear. To walk this path is to engage in a continuous process of becoming, an unfolding of capabilities you always possessed, yet perhaps never fully utilized. This systematic process, which we refer to as the activation protocol, isn't about acquiring new knowledge from an external source, but rather unlocking the profound wisdom and innate potential that already resides within you. It's a deliberate calibration of your inner compass, aligning your purpose with precise, impactful action. Embracing it means transcending past limitations, transforming uncertainties into clear directives, and shaping your reality with a newfound precision. Imagine the power of consistently operating from a place of unwavering clarity, where every move is strategic, every response intentional, and every outcome a direct reflection of your cultivated strength. The transformation isn't a distant dream, it's an immediate possibility, accessible the moment you choose to engage. This isn't about adding layers to who you are, but stripping away what obscures your inherent brilliance. Your maximum potential isn't a goal to be reached, but a state of being to be activated, a potent force waiting to be unleashed. The tapestry of your life awaits its most vibrant threads, each one spun from your courage, your insight, and your commitment to purposeful creation. Now, consider what future you wish to author. The tools are within reach, the blueprint is clear, and the canvas is boundless. Take the decisive step. Engage the protocol. Transform your perspective, and in doing so, transform your world. The time to become the architect of your most extraordinary existence is now. Your indelible mark awaits.